Hello, I wonder what you think of this quote. It's from Stephen King, the writer, and he says, I'll read it out to you. Talent is cheaper than table salt. What separates the talented individual from the successful one is a lot of hard work. And today we're going to be talking about confidence on social media, because isn't it so easy to look at what other people are doing on social media and think, oh, they're so much better at doing it than me. They're much more talented than me. They're much more confident than me. And when we do that, it makes us despair and we just want to give up and go away. And if we're working to get private practice clients, we knock social media off our list of possibilities as a way of getting clients. So what I'm going to be talking about in this little video is how to actually be confident and not to have to worry about how much natural talent you've got at this, but just how your clarity around what you're doing, your consistency in turning up, and your character in being who you are can make all the difference and help you feel ultimately more confident on social media. But I'm sure you've been in that place, like me, where someone said to you, it'd be a great idea if you were to set up a Facebook page or have an Instagram feed or do something on TikTok. And you open up your page, you set it all up, and then you don't really know what to do with it. And I think, it's because none of us, or not very many of us, are actually trained marketeers. We're trained therapists. That's what we're really interested in, is being with one other person or possibly two other people in a room, listening to their problems and helping them work out what to do about it. And the reason I read out that Stephen King quote at the start is it's so easy to think that we haven't got that natural talent and that we're not going to be able to do it. But you can, if you carry on working at your social media, make a success of it. That's what we're going to talk about. And I think it really starts with getting clarity around why you're posting in the first place. So I expect you probably think to yourself, well, it's because I want to get clients. Brilliant. I think most of us do that. But how? How are you going to use it to get clients? And I think having clarity around this question can actually really help you. Because if you've got a plan and a purpose, you actually don't need the confidence. You can stick with the plan, you can lean on your purpose, and that will help you get through, even if you don't feel very confident. So with a plan, what I'm thinking about is things like, you could maybe think that your social media, you're mainly going to concentrate on making connections with other therapists, for example. Because if you make connections with other therapists, they'll make referrals to you. So if that was you, you might be wanting to do something like talking about the special area that you work in, talking about the problems that people have, sharing information about it, perhaps talking about training that you've been on, and connecting with other therapists. And that's a perfectly valid way of growing a network on social media, is by connecting with other therapists. You don't actually have to market yourself to the clients in that particular instance. But I think for many of us, what we are trying to do is reach clients. And if that's what we're trying to do, we need to do things like raise awareness of the service that we've got. So that would be posts around what you're doing, where you're setting up, what your service is like, frequently asked questions, those sorts of posts. So that's sort of one aspect of what we're doing. But also as well, we want to be showing people that, we are a qualified therapist. We are someone who has a certain level of knowledge and expertise in the subject. And I'm smiling because people always cringe when they hear the word expertise, because it tends to frighten us and bring out our imposter syndrome. And we think, no, I haven't got enough expertise to be able to claim that. But the fact is that you do probably have more expertise than someone who's never done any therapy training. And so partly what you're doing in social media is showing people and demonstrating the knowledge and experience that you do actually have. So you might be doing educational posts. But yeah, think about setting your objectives. What am I doing here? what sort of posts do I need to fulfill that particular purpose, and how can I plan them out? And when you've got that clear, it can really, 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 I promise you, it does help you to feel much more confident because you actually know what you're going to be posting. I think one of the things about social media is that we're not really accountable to anyone, are we? I mean, when we've got a client who's booked in, we'll make sure that we're going to turn up at the time that they're booked in for. But social media is a bit different. If you don't do anything on social media, probably the only person who really knows that you're not doing anything is you, because social media is so busy that people may not notice for a little while that you haven't been doing anything. And particularly when you're starting out, if you're not getting a huge amount of traction with your social media posts, it's really easy to think about giving up. There's nobody there to hold you accountable. But if you have a plan, that can really help you to hold yourself accountable. And also you can make a plan about which metrics you're going to use. So how are you going to measure your success? I got very burned out before Christmas because I was looking at other people's success. I was looking at the number of likes and follows and shares that they had, which was completely inappropriate because they've got a completely different sort of page to me. But I was looking at that and it was making me feel down. So what I've done is come back to actually, what is my purpose? Why am I posting? And what are measures of success that I use? So one of the measures of success I use is the number of people who sign up to join my email list, for example. And I know my social media is working really well for that purpose. So why am I worrying? So having a plan, having a purpose can really, really help you. And alongside that is this idea of consistency. If you keep turning up consistently, that is actually going to help not only your social media feed, it's also going to help your confidence. So what you'll do is, if you keep going, you'll begin to find out which sorts of posts resonate with your clients. And that's a really useful bit of feedback. And it means that you can do more of those. But it also builds your confidence, because the more that you do something, the more that you practice, the easier it becomes. And you can just gradually push yourself a little bit more out of your comfort zone each time. So if you're just starting out, just to say a simple reel of your office where you're working, that's good enough. And then later on, when you're feeling a bit braver, you might do a piece to camera yourself, which actually shows you. You can just build up your confidence gradually. So, having clarity, having a plan really helps you with consistency. So it'll help your confidence. It'll help you to keep turning up. And then I just wanted to mention in closing about being you, because no one can argue with you and your experience. And this is quite often how we can protect ourselves. You can say things like, I feel this, and that's the truth. That's what you feel. People can't really argue with you about that. And that is often the way to help yourself when you're worrying about what people might say. So just to sort of round up what I'm talking about, if you want to feel more confident on social media, don't wait for the feeling to hit you, because you could be waiting a very long time. What you do is you put like scaffolding in place to support you as you're posting on social media. And that scaffolding consists of a plan and a sense of purpose about why you are actually doing this. If you want to hear more about this, then my podcast that came out on Thursday is called Confidence on Social Media for Counsellors, or something like that. I can't remember the exact title. This goes into a little bit more detail and explains more about it. And just a little reminder that if you are searching for ideas, I publish in Therapy Growth Group ideas for every single day of the year, and that's available to my members of Therapy Growth Group. So thanks very much for watching.